guess it's not football Saturday at Drafters. It's Dan, it's JP, it's Pie Day. So happy Pie Day. Whether you are a pizza or dessert fan, get yourself a pie. I didn't even think about that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
I didn't think about it either. You just said happy whatever. I'm like, oh, it's Pie Day.
It is Pie Day, so there you go. I mean, that's because I was trying to think. I was trying to start off the show with happy something, right? And I was thinking, it's like, yeah, we got conference basketball tournaments coming up. It wasn't, Friday the 13th was yesterday, so we don't have. It's like, what thing can we talk about today? Pie Day, dude. I always forget about Pie Day, and I shouldn't because it's such a great concept for either of those two foods.
Yeah, I only want the one. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
That's a good quick question before we jump into this show and everything. What's the best pizza? Now, this as far as like toppings, but then also if you've got a place.
Lou Malnati's sausage. Don't need anything else, just sausage. Wow. Well, obviously sauce and cheese and
sure, right? You're just gonna have sausage and dough. Call it good.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'll explain why. So I'm a big Chicago deep dish guy. It's the best style of pizza there is to me, hands down.
Because there's more pizza.
Not even close. Yeah, Detroit deep dish is too much bread. You got the New York style. It's just greasy. It's weird.
And huge.
Chicago deep dish is just where it's at. And I wish I could take a different sauce, maybe like Beggars in Chicago sauce. But the reason that Lou's wins is I do actually, I like their crust. I mean, that's not the main reason, but the main reason is the sausage. It's a patty as big as the pizza.
That's right. I don't think I've had that before.
So it's literally you do your crust, and then they do the cheese, and then they do like a whole sausage patty, the whole thing, and then a whole layer of sauce. So when you cut it, it's literally like a layered pie, and there's
fun.
Everything in every single bite.
There you go. That sounds like way better than like a breakfast sandwich that has a sausage patty in it. I'd much rather have a breakfast pizza with a sausage patty on it.
I wonder what if they did a breakfast one with the full sausage patty? That's interesting.
Ooh, you could do that because instead of like in the sauce mixture, you got maybe some egg and some other stuff, almost like you're making like a friggin' quiche or something there.
Well, there's a place around here, the Art's Pub, that does a breakfast pizza, and for the sauce they use sausage gravy. And it's
good
fantastic.
Lord! All right, well now we're starting to give ourselves corners.
They do sunny side up eggs on top of it too.
Jeez.
So then you break the egg and the yolk runs over, and
that's
my second favorite pizza.
In case any of you are wondering, it is 11:12 in the morning. Yeah, Pie Day is happening, and it's still kind of breakfast-ish time for everybody. So, yeah, we've been a little bit off track, but I think we're the right amount of off track. All right, so here's the thing. Last time we talked about team needs 3 hours into free agency, and the good news is not a ton of things have changed. Outside of a couple guys getting picked up here and there on the fringes, there's still a couple of free agents that seem like they're in the wind, like we're gonna hear about them sometime soon. But it really does seem like, dude, most of the things have been sorted, and somehow $5.8 billion worth of contracts have been given out, and it doesn't feel like this class should have had that much money attached to it. And yet here we are.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And then the crazy thing is like, maybe it's because, I don't know. I guess it contradicts everything. I'm thinking faster than I'm talking. I was going to say, I totally agree with you. It doesn't feel like this class should have that much money. Then I see these deals come in, and I'm like, ooh, it's a good signing. It's a good signing. It's a good signing. Maybe it does make sense for that much money. But then I look at the signings, and all the ones that I think are good are all bargain bins. So then that also goes against how do we get to that number?
Right.
So
and again,
maybe it's just a handful of people like your OAs who got super paid.
Yeah, there you go. And that's one of the things to remember too. Is like, and that's part of the fun. Every year, the salary cap goes up, which is one of the reasons why you see contracts structured the way they are sometimes. Like every year, the salary cap goes up, so teams renegotiate their signing bonuses, so that they can spread it across years because they feel the cap's going to go up, and so it'll all make sense with math anyways. And again, there's a special group of mathematics that go into salary caps. Like you joked about the Eagles having more salary cap than everybody else, but there's math.
My buddy Skyler, Skyler, the guy who brings me all the Chicago pizza. He literally sent me a text message the other day. He goes, "I'm going to text you something, and don't try to explain it to me because it's not going to work." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "I don't understand salary caps." I was like, "Okay, so I'm not supposed to." Okay, I'll just leave it alone.
Did you respond to it? Did you say
I just
okay,
sent
buddy?
him this emoji where you kind of put your hands up because I'm like, I don't know what you want me. Do you want me to explain it or
But saying,
do you want me to shove? You just needed a vent or what?
Well, and again, as a Bears fan, I can understand why, as I am also one. He's probably sitting here in his head trying to figure out why they can't get Maxx Crosby. It's like, because you don't have the money. You'd have to give
You know
up.
what? I haven't gone and looked at the Bears cap situation, but I was extremely, extremely shocked because, there's a lot of rumors floating around. Could the Bears be one of the top teams for Crosby? And I poked around and I'm like, and they probably could afford him. I hate that. And I just went and looked at it. I'm like, whoa.
They
only
cannot.
allegedly have $6 million in cap space. It's like Detroit has $45 million. I know that Goff just did his restructure, but and that's probably to sign. I'm guessing Gibbs and Jack Campbell.
Yeah, I imagine
going to get extensions this in the next week or so. So
yeah, I've got to imagine that's what that's for. Yeah. I don't think it's to go grab anybody else that's out there on the market. I mean, Detroit is in a decent shape. Chicago would have to trade a player to go back from a salary. It's almost like going back to the NBA days of trying to, or not back to, they just what they do in that league, like trying to salary match guys because of the rules that they have in there. The Chicago would just have to do that just to make things work. Point is, they're not going to. And that is another reason why when we get to the Bears in our mock draft that we're doing today, you might see an edge rusher pop up. We're going to see how this all plays out because you and I are about to rip through our post-free agency, most of free agency,
first round
mock draft. And again, as we've said, every time we do these things, we try to give you some context. This is not what JP would do if he was running these teams and what Dan would do if he's running these teams, because we've pointed that out for years and years. We just don't draft the way teams seem to draft. Now, obviously, they are employed by these teams and we are not, so clearly maybe we don't have it right. But whatever. Point is, the only thing that all of us can probably agree on is the number one pick.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I think if I'm the Raiders, I think I actually do that pick. Especially now that they put a little bit of talent into the O-line. But yeah, it's Mendoza. This is the only thing I'll continue to say. Well, I'll say three things. One, sorry, Raiders fans, because this take is about the lamest take on every show like this you listen to. Two, I'll say it's only two options. It's Mendoza or trade, and I don't think they're trading it. So
they need to get a stupid amount to trade it. And unfortunately, as much as I like Fernando Mendoza, everything I've read about him as a person, I don't think that anyone's going to give enough to make that make sense for the Raiders.
I love everything about Mendoza. The only reason I won't put a first round grade on him and have him in my top 6 is just because it's only 1 year of production. So I just don't feel like. I don't feel that sense of guarantee that it's not a can't miss quarterback. Like, he had a great season. He's the best quarterback in the class. He deserves to be the number 1 pick, but I don't have that sense of security.
No, but he does have multiple seasons of production, but the production wasn't at the same level because that's the thing. If you are a Raiders fan, understand there's a good chance what you're going to get from Mendoza next year is probably somewhere between what he did at Cal and what he did at Indiana, because his offensive line with Linderbaum, with the pieces they have, will be better than it was last year. I mean, that's hands down for the Raiders, but
it's better just by getting healthy. But then you add Linderbaum, and here we are.
But he's still going to have likely a higher pressure rate than he had at Indiana. So just keep that in context. But again, easy take. Now, unfortunately, you were about to, 2 days ago, get ready to be able to have a second take for the Raiders in the first round. So let's just have fun with that. If the Raiders had the 14 pick, what do you think they should have done with it?
O-line.
O-line?
Tackle.
Grab Vega or grab one of the tackles?
I have to think that one of the 4 tackles there, whether it's Maui Noah, whether it's Freeling, Miller, or Lomu, and I know I'm a little higher on Lomu than most people are, but he should go somewhere in the first. I'm not saying he should go in the top half, but 14 is kind of close. And, when you got G&T and you got Mendoza and you're really trying to make the offense what drives that team, you kind of want to just make the O-line a strength. Let's just do this and see what happens.
That's how you and I focus the whole way through. Anyways, is trenches out from there because you can do so much if you're controlling both of those pieces.
Hell, what's crazy is even if they didn't go the tackle, even if, let's say, all 4 of them are gone, or you didn't want to go Lomu, I'm still just going O-line. They could take a Vega because if you had Miller, Vega, Linderbaum, and Powers Johnson is left tackle through right guard.
Right.
And
You're feeling
DJ
good.
DJ Glaze isn't awful.
No.
At right tackle. He's not.
He's serviceable.
So it could just O-line with that 14th pick would have been incredible. Because think about it. It's rare for a team to have 5, like, you feel great about all 5 of your O-linemen. So if all of a sudden you feel great about 4 of them, like, here we go.
Right. And again, much better situation for them. Ash and Gene T will be very happy. Before we move into the rest of the draft that actually, matters from where people shake out, 2 things real quick for you. One, I have heard people say, or I've seen somebody write, that they believe 7 offensive tackles are going in the first round.
Well, it depends. I mean, what are we calling
7
offensive
actual tackles, not guys that are going to move inside.
No, I still say no.
Right.
Those are the only 4. Those are the only 4 that I would call tackles. So if you're still going to call Fano a tackle, sure, that puts you up to 5. Let me change the filters. No.
Because the names
Proctor,
that I've been seeing,
Maxx, yeah. Okay, so if you're calling Fano a tackle, then yes.
And if you're calling Proctor a tackle, and again, the thought is Mauanoa,
yes.
Fano, Freeling, Miller, Proctor, Ianakor, and Lomu. Hypothetically, if all those guys are tackles, then you got 7 tackles. But
yes,
you've got 2 to 3 of them.
There's a good chance.
Right, 2 or 3 of them are not necessarily tackles at the next level, depending. And of those 7, what do we say? Like, there's 2 that are left tackles. Wait, Miller played left tackle, right? Is it just Freeling that played left tackle? Miller played left tackle.
Miller's got some. He wasn't this past year.
No, it was okay. No, he's mostly right tackle. So yeah. So there's really just
Freeling's basically your yeah.
Wow, that's wild to think about. All right, the other thing, real quick before we get into the rest of these teams, is pulled up an article from ESPN, the 5 most improved teams based off of free agency, and this is
Raiders.
their list. Well, they don't have the Raiders on there.
Then don't read the list. They're the most improved team by far.
I'm still going to read the list.
They went out and found basically like 11 starters. No, I'm serious.
This is I understand that. I'm not laughing at you. This is our soft launch for this time of year when we are going to start mocking the mocks, where you and I we're going to start calling people out in a loving, caring, combative way for people that we think are just hilarious with how they're doing things. And again, because this is on a podcast that is recorded in the world, y'all can come back and throw it back at us when we're wrong. It'll be fun. Here are the teams they said had the 5 best, according to Aaron Schatz from ESPN. Carolina Panthers, which, sure, Phillips and Lloyd definitely help out with them. Kansas City Chiefs, because they got Kenneth Walker, I'm guessing.
Phillips
even though they have
there for. Well, let me just do a take on this little by little.
Yeah, sure.
It's not the show. We're already 13 minutes in. This isn't part of the mock, but yeah,
all good.
I don't bank on Phillips making it to the end of any season. Ever.
Right. He's kind of like a slightly more durable Davenport for the Lions fans.
Love Lloyd, but moving on, you're probably not in the top 5.
I mean, Rasheed Walker, because he's got 1 year at tackle, maybe. But again, they also have to factor in what teams have lost, right? So they need a new center there. Kansas City Chiefs, because they got Kenneth Walker, and apparently they really like Chris Tonga.
Okay, so another guy who it's rare for him to not miss time.
Right, and then also let's not forget that now they didn't factor necessarily this into free agency, but they have no cornerbacks now.
Yeah.
All right. New England Patriots.
They're nowhere near the top because they just got rid of everything.
Right.
And brought in an injury-prone running back. Patriots.
Right. Also that. They got another number 2 wide receiver in Romeo Doubs. And then, they got Draymond Jones and Elijah Vera
I want
Tucker.
to say that the Raiders have done more than all 3 of those teams combined. Moving on.
Pittsburgh Steelers, because they got Michael Pittman and Jamel Dean. And
I
Rico
actually
Dowdle.
like that one the most out of all of them so far.
Except the only real big loss for them, in my opinion, was Siumalo, but he's also an older guy. And the Niners, because Mike Evans. And apparently Vidarian Lowe deserved to be on that list too. And they did
the
trade
only
for
one.
Ziggy.
Steelers were the only one. But now let me just say this. So you got a slot receiver Naylor with the Raiders. You got Linderbaum, best center in the game there. Brought in Connor Hayward. You bring in fullback, I'm in. Doesn't matter. But then defensively, you've got 4 starters in Kwity Paye, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, and Taron Johnson. And in some places even argue, I think I was listening to the McShay show, that's where I got it. Like they allegedly brought back Devin White too. So
right, we're still working on that.
Raiders did more than all of those teams combined.
With all due respect, did they really lose anybody of consequence?
They didn't have anybody to lose, Dan.
That's where I came
they're
in
the
with
most improved team. I'm not saying it's the best team. There's teams in that list that are infinitely better, but it is overall the most improved team by a landslide.
And that's why I brought
Stevie
this up,
Nicks.
was because I knew it would annoy you, and that's where we're going, because it's too much fun for me to not poke at this. And then that's my point. This is where we get to the fun time of year, where it's people who, and again, I've said this so many times, the only two people who can keep their jobs being wrong all the time are meteorologists and sports people. So thanks for that, at least. No. Okay, fair. We're not getting into that, though. Good Lord. Although I will say this, one thing that did come across. So Seattle is now concerned. The Seahawks are now concerned because Washington finally passed a level of income tax, because Washington was one of the states that didn't have a state income tax. But now they are going to do anybody making more than $1 million is going to be taxed at like 9.9% or something like that, I think is what I saw. And so that is something that the debate is it going to make a difference? Is it going to be an issue for players coming into Seattle? Are they going to change, how they do things? And chances are no, but it also might mean that they're going to want to bump up the numbers a little bit if they're coming into Seattle. So that's an interesting thing to watch for the future for them, because that's one of the things some teams hang their hats on.
All Jets fans are saying, "Shut the hell up!"
Right, exactly. Because even if it's New Jersey taxes, not New York taxes, it's still
I'm just saying,
because
they've been sitting here on the clock for a minute.
Also that. All right. Well, the reason why we did that is because the Jets, it really still feels like edge rusher is the thing, right? So the question is which one?
There's 3 options here. Well,
so
the 2 edge rushers, but I think, dude, Styles is a freak.
Well, Styles is going to be the option for literally every team until he goes. And again, we understand, not a premium position, but Sonny Styles is kind of an alien when you think about what he was able to do at the size that he is, and the fact that he's not just...
Nobody's ever done it.
Well, and the big thing, too, to remember with Styles, and again, this might be, new information for some people, but not for us, he's good at football. He's not just a workout guy.
Yep.
That's the thing to remember here.
And he's got more than a year of tape of good football.
Right. If I am the GM of the Jets and I'm not trying to trade up to grab, Mendoza, which obviously I would not be doing, I would take Sonny Styles over everyone else
100%.
in this draft because of what he can do. But I don't think the Jets are going to do that. I really don't. Because whether it's because they don't have a plan.
I thought there was a chance, but now that they moved on from Johnson, I think it shows, and they got a big guy up front. I feel like they're trying to go some power up front, which is the reason I probably still lean Bailey. I don't know which way you're going to go here.
Well, right, and that's the thing. So this is the other caveat on this mock draft is we are going to do this based off of what we believe the teams are going to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm also going to give a little wiggle room for position group, a guy we like infinitely better. So that's why I'm going with David Bailey. Because while people might have Arvell Reese in that spot, you and I both like David Bailey.
I still
way
think
more.
Bailey's more likely to go there than Reese. I might have Reese. Jeez, dare I say I put him as the 3rd most likely option? I think it would be Bailey or Styles.
Well, and again, that's just
the reason I say this. The reason I say this is I know that Aaron Glenn was in on the Jack Campbell pick, and I just maybe I'm imaginary dots I'm connecting.
Sure.
But I feel like he likes that long, coverage ability of a linebacker, because Jack Campbell's like 6'5" too.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's going to be like, oh, this can be the Jack Campbell of my defense.
True, but I think the flip side to that is they already had Hutch when they brought Campbell in, right?
Correct.
And the Jets don't have a Hutch.
We don't know.
No. There is no Hutch in this draft. We want to point that out. Even guys like Arvell Reese are not Aiden Hutchinson. Hutch has got 20 pounds on him and a couple inches. Yeah. It's just, Aiden Hutchinson.
Remember how we're saying Styles is a freak for a linebacker? Hutch is a freak for an edge rusher, too.
Dude, I still remember how excited we were that Jacksonville passed on Hutch. It's just so funny.
I think I jumped over Brad's couch and then laughed so hard I fell on the floor, didn't I?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day to be a Lions fan. I saw that video. It made me
And
happy.
I think
wasn't
I
there
was
for that one,
screaming, they
unfortunately.
actually did it. Those idiots actually did it. I think that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that seems right.
Uh,
Well,
and
the
that's why
idiots
they
in
became one of my absolute favorite teams for
there
allowing
you
the
go.
Lions to get Hutch. Like,
Love
thank you,
it.
Jacksonville. I love you.
Well, the idiots from the Jets took David Bailey. The idiots from the Cardinals now, who, again, I want to point out, they have quarterback as a need. I disagree. Gardner Minshew is in the desert. I'm kidding. But also, the big things.
There.
Yeah. The PFF has got
They could move
tackle.
back, though.
No, they could move back. We are not projecting trades. I want to make sure we understand that. There are several teams, especially in the top 10, that would gladly move back, but you need to find someone who's willing to move back with you, and I don't think that's happening for most of these teams. And that's where it gets interesting. That being said, what do I think the Cardinals are going to do? Man, if you look at their roster and the gaps like we talked about last time, I got to remind myself, I'm refreshing it right now because I feel like this is a team that still needs pass rush. And even though it's not technically in their needs according to PFF, like they've got Zaven Collins and BJ Ujulari as their secondary pass rushers to Josh Sweat. That doesn't work for me. But because they run
but
a
I don't think it's
3-4,
their biggest need, though. I don't think it's their biggest need.
What do you have as their biggest need?
Well, I personally still think tackle could be, but they went and addressed that in free agency, so I don't think they're going that way.
No, I don't think they're going that way
if you're
either.
going off biggest need and what I think they might do, this is back to Sonny Styles, and then you could stand them side by side with the guy he played side by side with in college,
Cody Simon. Sure.
Yeah,
and again, that's
Sorry,
I was trying to.
I'm not a huge Mac Wilson senior. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know they got Papo. That was a developmental injury prone guy who's super produced too. I don't know. I just think Styles could be a pick here.
Sure. I was trying to make and that's another option hypothetically for them. But again, they just brought in Algar. They have so many running backs that are number 2 running backs. Again, their running back room is the Patriots and wide receiver room. So we like to keep poking fun at the Patriots. But I was going to basically build up to it's Reese or Styles. It really feels like it's one of those two guys. And yes, Love is a possible piece here. I just don't see them going that route with what they've invested. And yeah, the question is, do you grab a middle linebacker that can play some edge or an edge-ish linebacker that can be an outside linebacker for you as well? You know what? We're going to go Sonny Styles.
I think I would do it in real life, and I think I would do it in the mock too for what I think they would do.
There you go. Well, it's up to the new look Tennessee Titans
because they
now.
have an offensive-minded head coach that they could just be offense too.
They could, but again, I think at this point they've addressed what they've perceived as the weaknesses on offense.
I also would think with an offensive-minded head coach, they probably feel a little more confident in them being able to work that side of the ball and be involved with it. So let's throw some talent on the other side that I'm not as versed in. But yeah, I agree with that.
Titans. Well, I don't know. You know LaFleur better than I do, so.
I do, and I was actually super surprised because, it's been a long time, obviously, since I talked to the guy, but he was always obsessed, with like the mobility of quarterbacks and thinking it was a super trump card. Like his favorite guy was Michael Vick. That's who he like. I remember we were debating all the time at the beginning of their careers. He was a Vick guy, I was a Brady guy. I won, Mikey.
Right, that worked out.
Won. But I guess I remember being in like our weightlifting class, and we'd just be going head to head arguing about that, watching the Sports Center highlights every morning before school started. But it is what it is. But yeah, I don't.
So
that is what
real quick. Obviously, this is for 2027.
What I was going to say is I was shocked they didn't get. Why am I drawing a blank? Willis.
Oh,
just
sure.
Because his older brother knew him too. I thought it was a done deal. I would have bet my bank account they would have grabbed him.
And that's why I think they didn't. Because he probably called his bro and be like, "Hey, what do you really think about Malik as a starter in this league?" And he's probably like, "Yeah, this is how much I'd pay for him." And maybe
it was one or the other. It was either a hell no or it's absolutely happening.
Right. Yeah. And again, we're not trying to shade Malik Willis. I liked him coming out of college. I knew he'd take time to develop. I really hope he gets a shot down. I know. I really hope he gets a shot down in Miami, but that's a whole nother mess we'll get to in a bit. So to put a bow on Arizona, and I promise we're gonna go faster the rest of this because we're we've
3 picks in and we're 24 minutes in.
Y'all have just been listening to our discussion. That makes me wonder. Let's say Arizona has a bad season, but he's still the coach next year. Or even if they're not the number 1 pick, how juiced is he for Lenora Sellers then? Isn't he just like a bigger Vic in his mind?
Yeah, probably. But I guess it all depends on Sellers did not look good to me at all. I understand the ceiling and the potential and all that. But even if he does have a good year this year, I would still be super nervous and like, okay, he figured it out 1 year.
Yeah. Well, hey,
what about all the rest?
Let's not forget that was high school, and now we're in our 40s, so maybe his mindset has changed a bit on quarterbacks. Yes. All right, the Tennessee Titans, the new look Tennessee Titans, which you are stoked about.
I am, dude. We're gonna this summer. I demand once they release the rivalry uniforms because the NFC North gets theirs this year. And I forget. Did they do two? They do two divisions.
They usually do two divisions. Yeah, I can't remember the other one.
Yeah, I forget the other one. Either way, we're going to have 8 new uniforms just from the rivalry, and there's probably going to be 5 or 6 other teams that I think are scheduled to do new unis this year. But Tennessee doing the Tennessee stuff with the Houston Oilers colors, love it. Absolutely love it. Moving way up.
Yeah, and that's an underlying debate between them and the city of Houston, but that's a whole another story for another day.
Yeah, well, they're trolling them now. They're trolling them now.
100%. 100%. All
right,
what are
Tennessee,
they doing it for?
To me, this is a 2-horse race, man. This is Arvell Reese, which is probably the most likely thing that I'm going to do, but I do think there's a case for Love. Here's the craziest thing with Love. I do think there's no way Love gets out of the top 10. But if Tennessee doesn't take him, there's a chance the Giants could take him. I doubt it. I think they probably want to get another wide receiver. Highly doubt Cleveland's doing it.
Yeah, Cleveland's not going to.
Yes, Washington 100% probably will.
That's what I was
going to do. I was trying to figure out if not Tennessee, where.
Yeah,
because I do think it would be absolutely hilarious if Jordan Love were on the clock when Jeremiah Love were on the clock when the Chiefs pick, just because they were probably thinking we have no shot at him. Let's go get Ken Walker, and they're like, damn. We got a shot at him.
Right. But I said Jordan Love last show. So, we're
did you? I didn't even catch it.
Look, sorry. Yeah, neither did I until I was going back through. I was like, oh, well, whoops. So Jeremiah Love will definitely be going at some point. He's going at 4, though.
No, I don't think I can do it, man. I just don't. Would I do it? Yeah, I'd probably do it because I feel like he's a can't miss guy. I love the ceiling of Reese. I feel like I don't think Reese is going to be I don't think he's going to miss. It's just whether is he going to reach the potential or not. Like he's going to be a good player either way. It's just is he going to be?
I feel good about ceiling. Right. I feel good about him reaching closer to his ceiling with Tennessee than some other teams because Robert Saleh, as long as he remains the coach, feels like a guy that can get a lot out of him.
I know, and I'm sorry. I mean, I know they went and they got Johnson. But on the other side, they got Oladejo, who I was never a fan of at all coming out of the draft.
He's a project.
I just wasn't. I wasn't. So I'm still going Reese here, man. It's done. Okay. Picked it. Giants. Man, I do think Love could be an option here. I mean, they're pretty adamant about saying they want to be a run team, but and you've got Blanca coming off from the injury. That's Scabu. But I like Tracy as well, like as a complimentary back. I don't mind him at all, but you can say you want to be a running team, but when you have your young, looks like stud potential quarterback in Jackson Dart, you got just neighbors, literally to me. It's just neighbors. So I'm gonna go Carnell Tate here, man.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously everyone in the receiving group would be happy with that because, Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodges are the other 2 guys. So, and Jalen Hyatt could pop, but he still hasn't. So, Carnell Tate is the pick there. And this makes things different for Cleveland because in the past, when some of those offensive tackles have been going, we've been giving them Tate or whoever. But and maybe they want to Tate too. But because all of the offensive tackles are there, I think Maui Noah is the pick because they still need to put somebody somewhere. And again, while they did address that in free agency, they do have Titus Howard coming in. Titus Howard has played guard and played guard at a decent level when he's been in Houston. Maui Noah could also be guard. He's the pick because he shores up the last really interesting piece of their offensive line. And that might make them an okay running the football team. That being said, running the football is something the Washington Commanders...
We had 3 straight Buckeyes. Sorry.
Right, 3 straight Buckeyes. Jeez. We didn't. We did do 3 straight Buckeyes. That's just wild and disturbing and depressing.
And what's crazy? What's crazy is Downs could go to almost any of these teams. It wouldn't shock me. Dude, you could have a 4 Buckeye
4 out of 5
back to back to back.
4 Buckeye.
No,
right.
I'm just saying they
We're
could
not
do
doing
that. I'm just saying in real life, there's a world where they could all go in straight in order.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, it's potential.
The Washington Commanders. I'm gonna do the thing that's hip and cool right now, and I think Jeremiah.
I already
Love,
picked for him. Okay,
yeah,
good.
You gave him love. All right. Yeah.
Although I
Jeremiah
do
Love
see
makes
it's
sense.
new. Did you see it's new on the simulator? There's an undo pick at the top that never existed.
Oh, that's
before.
very helpful. Yeah, I think that's because everyone complained for so long about either making the
gotta
wrong
start
pick
over.
or changing their mind. Exactly, got to start over. And again, even though they grabbed Rashad White and Jerome Ford, and they've got Bill on the team, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, it still feels like
none of
those guys are exactly. So yeah,
all those guys added together are not
Jeremiah Love. Yeah, and so now we're up to the Saints. Obviously, a lot of people are saying running back for them with Jeremiah Love is a possibility, but that's not going to happen. So now the question is, do they go?
Well, they just brought in ETN, man. They're
right,
not
exactly.
going RB.
That's the other reason why. So now the question is, do they go wide receiver? Do they go DB? Do they go linebacker, D line, whatever?
I think they're hoping Styles makes it to them.
I'm sure they would love to have Styles. Styles isn't there.
Could they Could they stay local and take Delane?
They could take Delane. Really, for me, the debate is: do you take Mekhi Lemon or do you take Mansour Delane, or do you take Jordan Tyson? I'm just keeping that out there for you, bud, because it could happen.
I don't know. I think the most likely thing is wide receiver for sure. It's just which one you think they're going to do.
Well, and again, you had Mekhi Lemon as your number one guy for a long time until you found out about the man's mitts, and he has got some.
They freak me out,
mitts.
dude.
Because what are his hands again?
3/4.
Yeah,
8 3/4.
Real quick,
what it is.
30 seconds on why that matters.
Outside of the complete obvious, I mean, of just your whole job is catching the football, right? But I don't have the exact numbers in front of me anymore, but when I was talking to you about it, if you go look at all the good wide receivers in the NFL, if you will, I don't think there's it's less than 1% have hands smaller than 9 inches. I think the majority of them are all 9 and change.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I personally have always really gone out of my way to look for guys. I don't care about wide receiver size. I don't care about wide receiver speed. If you can run routes, if I find a good route runner that's got those 9 3/4 to 10-inch mitts,
oh yeah,
I put them super high on my board every year, and it feels like they work. I think that's why. Granted, he looks like he's a little crazy these days, but. Dude, I had Stephon Diggs infinitely higher, 100 spots higher than what round did he go in? I had a first round grade on Stephon Diggs, and he went in the 4th round. I was sitting there going, "Am I insane? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this."
5th round, sorry.
Yeah, and I had a first round grade on him.
There you go. So
Whoops. But I don't know if you can run routes and you got big paws. I'm in.
Well. Yeah, Mekhi Lemon doesn't have big paws, and also is under 6 foot. You talked to me about that too, the number of guys who hit under 6 foot.
5'11" and over a half. So if you're rounding, if you do the way
close enough.
Yeah. But
all
no,
right,
but
so
the thing that I did for my outliers is if you're 5'10" or less, is where the wide receiver thing that I was looking at, where it's impossible. You had a 2.7% chance.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, despite the small hands, despite the size, they're going to take him over Jordan Tyson, who is the injury risk that was hilarious to think about. But they're going to do Mekhi Lemon, which gets us to Kansas City, who is cool, I'll have that. And the funny thing is PFF hasn't updated yet because they have wide receiver, tackle, and D-line as their needs.
I'm stoked to see what you do here because I feel like this is one of the most difficult picks. That's probably the first hard pick for me.
Which is funny because for me, it's not a hard pick. I mean, in the sense of
you just going to grab a tackle still?
No. Here's the thing: tackle is an option. There's no doubt about that because they do need an answer. They also paid Jalen Moore a little bit of money to come in.
Oh, you're
going
to take Delane, aren't you? Because they have no corners.
They have no corners. They have Christian Fulton and Noel Williams, who you liked coming out of Cal, is their other corner. And yes, he might be an option, but they need a shutdown corner. And this makes sense. They just traded away a corner, so why not take a corner? There's debate. You could say that maybe they're going to wait till the end of the round to do that, but because of where the corner drop off feels like it is versus the tackle drop off, They're taking a corner. So they're taking Mansur Delane there at 9. Go ahead. What are the Bengals doing at 10?
They already were behind you at the podium ready to take Caleb Downs. That's their dream pick.
That was easy. And again, we're not trying to...
It sounds crazy that he went at 10. It really, really does. But it's starting to feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, I'm not saying he's not going to be fine and have a great career, but there is probably some concern with the knee. But I think other people are starting to catch on to it, too. Like, when you look at his production and statistics, while they're great, there's really not a ton that separates him and Thieneman. There just isn't. What? You just have to be honest with yourself.
You are probably, outside of Dylan's family, the biggest proponent of Dylan Thieneman, besides maybe him and his agent, who's getting the commission off this. So, there's a debate whether it's one of those two guys, but I do agree Caleb Downs going there. Miami at 11.
Oh, brother, this is another interesting one, and it's weird to say because like their team's so bad you could do anything, right? I feel. True. Like part of me really just wants to say grab one of these tackles here. But you do have Patrick Paul, who's relatively young, second round pick, 66 grade, not great, not awful. You do have Austin Jackson, again, relatively young, right? Who was a first round pick, who was a 65.
Right.
Granted, relatively young. He's been in the league for a few years, so it should be higher than a 65 for sure. So you could do that, but
you'd like it to be.
mean, Brewer played well at center. Savania, I don't think they're going to give up on. They spent a second-round pick on him. They just brought in Slayer. They probably expect him to start at the other guard spot and place at Cole Strange. So it's literally, do they really want to go upgrade Paul or Jackson? You know what I mean?
With all the other upgrades they need on that roster.
Yeah, with all the other upgrades. So while I would think that might be what I do, this is actually I think we're just going to have a conversation about this one together.
Okay.
Because I don't, man.
So we get to the pause point.
I know.
This is why
there's no edge rusher
versions
here.
Of these.
There's no edge rusher here they're going to take. There's no cornerback they're going to take. Yes, I think Thieneman could go here.
They could take McCoy.
I don't think they are. I just don't.
I don't think they are either. I think people are too nervous about him right now. Again, this is March 14th. If McCoy tears up his pro day, it might be a different story. But right now, the narrative around him is not good.
Quarterback, no. Running back, no. Wide receiver,
yes, but
possibly. No. I don't think they're going to take an injury-prone Dyson. They've already had. Remember when they had Devontae Parker, and they just think the whole organization's scarred from that. Boston, well, I would think it wouldn't be a bad pick at all. That's not likely. I mean, I think it'd be more likely they take Kenyon Sadiq here. We already kind of said if we don't go O-line, so what are we thinking? Offensively, it'd be Sadiq or O-line. You think Sadiq's really going to go in the top 11? I don't.
I don't personally, no. Although, again, he's PFF has him at 14. It wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah, but so offensively, I think it's still O-line. Defensive line, there's nothing. Edge rusher, we picked them. None of the other ones are going to go this high. Linebackers, it's not. None of them are going to go this high. Cornerback,
even if they should.
McCoy. So this is literally offensive lineman or Thieneman.
I like if you just keep pushing Thieneman, which is not wrong.
I do think he's going to go this high. Because my dream pick is for the Lions to get him, despite us desperately needing a tackle. That's who I want. But he's not going to make it there. So to me, he's got to go in these next handful of picks. I mean, Baltimore could easily take him too. So could. Minnesota picks after us. Minnesota's probably dreaming of Thieneman too.
Oh, that's the dream for them. There's no doubt.
So I don't know. You tell me. Should I be looking at? Let's see. This is probably Monroe Freeling or Dylan Thieneman.
Well, right. And again, it comes down to the problem with Patrick Paul is I don't know if Patrick Paul can play right tackle. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't know if he ever has. And so the logic there would be you put Freeling at left tackle, you put Paul at right tackle, and you figure it out from there. And then I think the upgrade, again, not trying to knock Austin Jackson. I think the upgrade is,
I think I'm leaning Thieneman.
No, it's probably better. Well, Thieneman.
It's not what they should do. It's not what they should do when you're rebuilding a team. You know what I mean? Like you should go inside out. But I just think, I don't know. I think they want to see more from Jackson and Paul before they're going to make a call on moving on from him.
Well, and again, Jackson would be the more likely one to move on from. There's no doubt. Paul, we joked about how that man is built. All right, it's your team, your call. So you're talking yourself into Thieneman. So I don't think you're crazy at all. Again, he's sitting here at ranked 11.
I didn't even look at this. I don't know how updated this simulator is, but they don't even have tackle as a need.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Like just personal preference. Makes me hilarious.
Makes me want to go tackle just to go.
Well, it's obviously not. But it's not that updated because they don't have corner as a need for Kansas City. So clearly, it's not there.
All right, we're going a duck to a dolphin. It is.
A duck pairing with a duck because Storm Duck will be there to hang out with the duck, Dylan Thieneman. Love it. All right, Cowboys. They aren't getting some of the guys they wanted. What are they up to?
That is a hell of a question, sir.
Because, again, this is where the Jermod McCoy conversation comes in because they could use a corner. They'd love a linebacker, but are you going to jump up for some of the guys that are...
They probably would have taken Thieneman.
I mean, they certainly... Look, several teams would have taken Thieneman. There's no doubt about that.
Do I undo
No, you're not going to undo it.
Freeling and then Thieneman?
You're not going to undo it because Miami doesn't care what Dallas wants.
I know, but I'm still 50-50 on...
Nope. It's done. We don't do the undo button.
There's no edge rusher that they're grabbing here. So this is
Reuben Bain is there.
It could be McCoy.
Reuben Bain is still there.
Reuben Bain. No, it ain't gonna be Reuben Bain. He's dropping in the draft, I guarantee it.
He's average draft position is still 6.7, and we're on pick 12.
You know what? I'm gonna do this for 2 reasons.
You're just trying to drag down that average.
No, I'm gonna do this for 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, I still don't know. I'm assuming McCoy is good to go. We'll see come his pro day, right? I wish I knew when his pro day was. 2, I think it is a good pick for them. 3, kind of want to see what it's like if the Rams don't go cornerback, despite them going and getting 2 anyway. So maybe they weren't either way, but we're going to go McCoy here.
Well, it's March 31st is when we can get some answers for Jermod McCoy, which is good for him, actually, that it's as late as it is in the process. Rams are up next.
Rams are up. Oh,
no longer
needing
a corner.
They no longer really, truly need anything.
Right.
Their biggest need's a backup quarterback. And I already pitched on a show or 2 ago that I just don't think they would do that because I think that they're going all in.
All in to win.
On this year. Yeah, they're going to take, I guess I'm just going to say best player available.
So who is that in your mind?
I'm going to go take a quick peek at the roster of best player available.
Well, and that's where it gets interesting
might
because...
Might be Fino.
Well, and again, this is a team that didn't add a ton outside of the cornerbacks, right? So the interesting thing for them, too, is when you look at the weapons they've got, is would they take Sadiq or do they feel good enough about Parkinson and Ferguson to not worry about that?
Yeah, I think they feel good enough about that because they also brought back Higbee.
True. They do have 3 tight ends that are serviceable.
Yeah. I know Higbee's injury prone and older, but he's your 3rd guy. So, I mean, you're pretty deep there. Man, wide receiver, I guess you couldn't rule out because Adams is older and Puka is a guy who said he's retiring at 30, no matter what. Right. I know he's a ways away from that, but it's a weird thing to say. How do you say that 6 years in advance or whatever it is?
Kids make all kinds of comments when they're young.
So the crazy thing is, man, I think linebacker is probably their new number 1 need, if you ask me, like a true Mike, but who would go here?
Well, and that's the crazy thing. CJ Allen has been moving back up the list on PFF to where now he's like at 19 when he was in the 30s at one point, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that's the interesting move that I've seen when it comes to players and how they're shifting around as we get closer. And again, this is going to be all over the place as we get closer to draft day. Again, you and I joking about how we have all the 5th round picks we'd love to use on guys that we know aren't going to go in the 5th round. They're going to be gone before then.
Dude, I am absolutely perplexed.
Tilting a bit?
I got a crazy one to throw out there, right? It's kind of funny given, who's up next, and it makes me feel really good because they did the Raiders dirty. But while I don't like this pick because I don't trust it, because they're going best player available and shooting for the moon, we both agree that if healthy, Jordan Tyson's the best wide receiver in this class.
True.
Is there a world where they take Jordan Tyson, have freaky
because they don't need
receivers, and they don't have to play him a ton, and they can ease him in and let his body get right?
With all due respect to Jordan Whittington, I do think that Jordan Tyson would be a better 3 option.
100%.
We doing
Let's
it?
go Tyson, man. I think so.
Tyson's there.
Like, this is actually
go.
if there's a team that takes Tyson, where I'd be like, okay, this is worth the gamble. It's a team that's shooting for the moon, and a team that it doesn't have any crazy needs and doesn't need to rely on Tyson being a big part of the offense. It's probably perfect.
There you go. And again, as we can joke about the Ravens being annoyed about that pick happening in front of them. Certainly not something they appreciate as a team that's trying to contend for a Super Bowl. Would love to have added another wide receiver. There's a world where they just say screw it and take Boston, but I think enough people are nervous about him from what he did at the Combine with just dropping the ball a little bit, stuff like that, even though he is, I think that's overblown personally. I don't think he's in the conversation. So the real question now comes into what direction do they want to go offensively and defensively here? Do they want, again, because Reuben Bain is still on the board. He has to get picked by someone, dude, okay? And the concern that you should have as a Lions fan is if he's still on the board at 17.
They won't take him.
You say that.
The only reason they might is just because he is a high motor, high effort guy. But that's also a situation where I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't do it. But if they did it, I'd be like, I get it. We'll see.
They see something we don't. All right, so the safeties they would have loved to have grabbed. The wide receivers they would have loved to have grabbed. And this is, unfortunately, they're not there. So obviously center is probably their biggest need offensively, right? But there's no center that's going to get taken in the first round. Defensively, they could, if you like Tavius Robinson, that's great. If you like Adiza Isaac, okay. Mike Green should be their second pass rusher, right? So there's a world where pass rusher can make sense for them to grab, but none of the pass rushers fit their kind of 3-4 system unless Cassius Howell is going this high. And everything that I've been seeing about him lately has him, pegged more towards the end of the first round, not the beginning of the first round, right? So as we're looking at this pick, as JP takes care of his pup, I think that there's a real world where, as much as we've mocked him there and everyone else has mocked him there, and it seems like people have pulled away from it, I think we're back to Vega again. Now, then the reason for why, even though they grabbed John Simpson at one guard, as much as I liked Andrew Voorhees 3 years ago in college, he has not held up at the level that you'd expect him to hold up to be a legit starting guard in the NFL at the level that I think the team like Baltimore needs. And if they're going to keep making space for Lamar Jackson and for Derrick Henry, Vega makes too much sense for me. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, go ahead. You just said that to say that, or do you say that because you think something else should happen?
I think it's Vega is tied with my other option, Fano.
Who's your other option? Okay, Fano. Right, sure, fair. No, that is a good point because Fano could just jump straight in. They are set at tackle, so if you just feel like Fano is going to be the guy that you're just saying you're a guard and you're forever guard
or then, center.
Yeah. Nope, all right, I'll give you that. And admittedly, this is a team that needs a center, so maybe they grab Fano and slot him into one of those two spots.
You would say? I didn't even look at the depth that much.
Dude, they don't have... Because they just traded. They lost their best center. Yeah.
Oh,
so okay, you know what?
Yeah, it is Fano.
Thank you for helping me out with that. So Fano is the pick there. That was easy. All right.
I was listening to your whole take, and you were super confident in Vega too.
I was
by the end,
and then you reminded me. All right, go ahead.
This is an interesting one, man. They got Anzalone, so I don't think they're going to go linebacker here because they got not just because Anzalone's that great. He's very good.
He's got a couple years left.
But also, I don't think there's a linebacker that's going to go at 15 here.
Sure.
You could go edge rusher. Man, they took Muhammad. They're just poaching all the Lions players that I wanted. Dang. So they got Muhammad and Diaby as their outside linebackers, right? Because the Bain's not an option here because they are a 3-4 base.
Right.
He's just not. So let's think about it. If they did go edge rusher. What edge rusher would make sense? It'd be. This is probably more Cassius Howell or T.J. Parker.
Right.
It's one of those two. If
I think Mesidor is even too big still. Yeah.
And if they don't go edge rusher, it'd be Sadiq.
Right.
They brought back Otten. Does that mean that they're feeling okay there? I don't think so.
Well, but again, and they also lost a pass catcher in Mike Evans.
But they got Ibuka, McMillan, and Godwin, and Tez. They're fine with wide receivers still.
But Tez is also tiny.
It's trump card. This is 100% Sadiq or either Howell or Parker. And I'm trying to figure out
which direction they go. Right.
I'm just trying to figure out who's more, like, part of me wants to say Howell if they win an edge rusher over Parker, but at the same time, Parker's been flying up boards again, and they seem to like the bigger outside linebacker. Like, look at the size of Diaby and Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger than Howell.
Right.
So I think I've narrowed it down to Sadiq or Parker. What are your honest thoughts?
With that team, how they're set up, I feel like Parker probably makes more sense for them.
I kind of think so too. But I don't know if that's because I think it makes more sense or that's just what I would do before I grabbed it. But me taking an edge rusher before I took a tight end.
Well, and again, if they hadn't brought back,
if you bring in Muhammad and you had Diaby, do you just feel like you're set? I mean, Muhammad was a 1-year wonder guy who's not the youngest guy. So
right. And they've still got Chris Braswell. Yeah, they got Dave Walker.
Man, that's stress.
This is a team. The good news for them is, man, they have options now. The question is, are any of them going to pop, right? So TJ Parker's the pick for Tampa, and I promise this is not going to be
part of me wanted to do that because of that would have been almost an easy button to hit for Detroit if they don't go tackle too. But we got a lot of tackles. This is crazy.
No, we've had a weird draft so far. In comparison,
it's
to
already wrong because the Jets are not taking tackles, so the Lions are already done. It's Monroe Freeling.
Well, we'll get there in a minute, okay? We got to do a little beverage break in between there. Thank you for just spoiling it for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, again.
They can tell.
Or
we
Ruben
did not
Bain.
do that on purpose.
Or Ruben Bain.
They're not.
We'll have that debate in a minute. All right, so here's the thing with the Jets, right? The way that this board has played out, and this is why we do these mock drafts. This is why it's fun. We're still a month and a half out from the draft, and so half this stuff's going to change, right? When you look at the Jets and where they need help, they're not going O-line. They're not going tight end. They're not going running back. Quarterback's an option, yeah, but I still don't think they're going to take Ty Simpson here, even to sit him for a year behind Geno. That is an option, but Aaron Glenn had such a rough first year that I don't think he's going to be thinking about next season.
Dare I interest you in something?
Oh, go ahead.
If they were to go at Ty Simpson here, does that... What is she doing? Sorry, there's a husky under the desk making weird noises. Does that buy... Because you're going to start Geno and see what happens. Does that buy you an extra year?
Look, I understand your dog agrees with that, but I don't think it does. Yeah, the way that teams have pulled plugs on what that all that does,
it could happen. Could happen.
But all that does, in my opinion, is make New York feel like they have to have an offensive coach next time. If they took Simpson and sat him for however long you need to sit him behind Geno. So they put a lot into the defense. If there was a corner here, they would take him. But I don't think there's a corner that they're going to take at this point.
Nope.
So this is my pitch for Boston. Because they've got Adonai Mitchell. They've got Garrett Wilson. But they don't have much else behind him. I don't necessarily like...
I really thought you were going to go edge rusher here and maybe do the Bain. Because,
But here's the thing. They've shifted to more of a 3-4 now. And Bain is not a 3-4
Cassius
guy.
Howell slam dunk right here.
Ooh, wait, are you trying to pitch Cassius Howell when I've been trying to pitch him to you forever and a day?
This is not me. This is what would happen.
Aha. So Cassius Howell,
I do think he's going in the first round.
He 100% is going in the first round. I just figured he was going to go more in the 20s with the way people are projecting him now.
Look at the way the board's breaking down. I could totally see it here.
Oh, no, 100% could see it there because right now you've got Joseph Osai and Will McDonald as your two guys. Now, mind you, we have... one of those two is going to be taken up because we have Bailey in the first pick. So you're suggesting they do double up? Oh,
they had
edge rushers.
No. I forgot about Bailey. I'm an idiot.
No, you're good. You just forgot that they actually have two picks.
You know what this means?
What does that mean? Uh-oh.
Would you rather have Bailey and whoever, or would you rather have Styles and Howell?
Fair. No, with the way that this board went, I'd probably rather have Styles and Howell just because.
100%.
But we didn't know that. So the real question now,
how many times can
undo, right? Undo all the way back.
We're going
to pick
back
two.
to 2.
We are not going back to 2. We're already almost an hour into this thing. Good Lord. Okay, so Avion Terrell, CJ Allen, or Boston. I mean, they got Demario Davis. He's not a long. Now I'm talking myself into CJ Allen. But is this too high for him? It's not according to
for me, 100%.
PFF,
but I don't know.
And again, Terrell could be a good pick for them because they need another corner, at least one more corner as well in their rotation. Unless you think Azareye'h Thomas is going to be full-time starter this year. But again, is that a little too much of it?
They could just do a luxury pick and take Sadiq too.
I'm talking myself into some Mel Kiper-like scenarios of, well, that's too high to take him. Screw it. It's never too high to take a guy if you know he's not coming back, right?
Which way you going?
Well, I'm saying CJ Allen's not coming back. Avion Terrell's not coming back. Kenyon Sadiq's not coming back. I don't think they go Sadiq purely because they like Mason Taylor. And Jeremy Ruckert's a competent backup. Jelani Woods is a nice flyer on the back end. I think
I'm glad this is your team. I'm glad about that.
Jeez. Really, it comes down to, do you think the need at linebacker is greater than the need at corner? Do you feel good about Azareye'h Thomas, Brandon Stevens, and you just grabbed Nashawn Wright? None of those guys move the needle for me personally. Demario Davis is not going to last a lot longer. Good Lord, I'm tilting between these two. And again, it feels
hours.
like, yeah, right? Exactly. CJ Allen, we're just doing it. I'm pushing the button, moving on. Break time.
CJ.
You got to talk about some beer, sir. Let's take a quick little squiz off to the side here.
I got 2 real quick. I'm not having one. I'm having coffee during the show. So these are 2 that I needed to get out of the way. One,
okay, go for it.
super quick take. I'm covering up part of this. Do you remember this beer?
Oh, the Good Humans? Yeah.
Good Humans.
Yep.
Like one of my favorite brown ales, but I'm not a big brown ale guy. Right?
Did they change
That's all it is. You can hear it.
All right.
I did think the flavor tasted a little different. There was something a little bit lighter about it.
Okay.
Didn't really think about it. And then when I was taking cans back, I was going to put the can. I saved this can like a real weirdo for the show to remember to talk about it.
Appreciate it.
But, dude, and I went back and looked at just images on Google. It was Good Humans is a brown ale.
Right. It's not a brown ale anymore? Brown IPA.
It is a brown IPA now.
Which is still an ale, but not the same.
Correct, but different. When did that happen? And that kind of lines up because I felt like it was
this year?
What I was thinking in my mind is it felt a little lighter and a little more carbonated and a little less of brown. But I was like, it's been a long time since I had it. I don't know. And then I saw that and I was like, dude, that checks out.
Have you ever had a brown IPA before?
No, I've never heard of it.
I think that's why they did it.
It's the greatest brown IPA of all time because it's the only one.
Well, no, we're going to see more. I guarantee you, because black IPAs have become a thing the last couple of years, right?
Love black
More
IPAs.
of a thing. So brown
Second
IPAs,
one I wanted to
they're going to make IPAs of everything, man.
Second one to do a quick take on, right? I would never buy this beer again. It wasn't awful. I think I gave it like a 2.75, maybe a 3 even, right? Because it surprised the hell out of me. It sounded terrible.
Oh, fun.
You know, my favorite brewery in my neck of the woods, Old Nation, right? You know, M43, they do these weird flavored M43s. They released a new one.
Uh-oh. And let's be honest, you've liked the B43 flavors better than the M43 flavors.
Oh, yeah. The tangerine and grapefruit, killer. The M43, I don't like any of the flavored ones.
Well, because
I
they've
just like
all
the standard
done
M43.
creamsicle, strawberry cream.
Yeah, they got a raspberry cream one, a blueberry cream one, orange creamsicle, strawberry, the strawberry tart one. Like
it's all creams.
This one, Pina Colada Creme.
Still in the cream world. All right. I can see that working, though.
It was a little more cream and coconut than the pineapple, which was the right decision for me. So that's why it was surprisingly better than I was expecting. Again, not my thing.
Interesting. I don't blame you.
It was definitely more vanilla coconut vibe than it was.
Proud of you for trying it. Proud of you for trying it. It's ironic. I almost drank the sour from Presidential because I know how much you don't like sours that has the pina colada vibe, but I was hanging on to it because I wanted you to try the pina colada sour. just to mess with you.
Aha.
I'm going to get video of that. It's going to be great. So instead, I went with one of the beers that I grabbed from the holiday times that I didn't end up drinking because I found the other one from this company. But this is Samuel Smith's Imperial Stout. This is a British beer. It is
we had the Christmas one by them.
We did, and that's why I got this, because I couldn't find the Christmas one until I found the Christmas one. But this, again, is Tadcaster, North Yorks, England, and this is, here's what I can tell you. You might actually like this, right? Because it is an Imperial Stout, and it is a dry stout, in the sense of it's got a little more of that tartness that comes with a stout at times, without the sweet, creamy vibe that you get in a lot of stouts these days. So this is a very old school Imperial Stout. It's like a 7.5, something like that. It is refreshing because of all of the ways that stouts have kind of leaned toward the more dessert style ones. This is not. And they did a nice job on it, and that's one of the things. So for those of you who are purists or old school or whatever you want to say, the Brits still do some things right. That being said, I still did put it in the refrigerator because I'm not that British. I'm not doing the warm lager thing. But again, in 1896, it got a gold medal at the International Brewers Exhibition in Leeds. So that gives you an idea how long they've been making this for 100 and some odd years, at least, if not more, right? So let's hear it for the English, and let's hear it for Samuel Smith's Imperial Stout. Second half, let's rip through it. The Detroit Lions, are they taking Reuben Bain?
No, I already did my take. It's a slam dunk pick, so I'll let you talk about it. I mean,
no, and again, if somehow Monroe Freeling is sitting here, and again, I want to point out...
And he won't be. He won't be. That's why we're wrong.
Right. But also, he could be. You never know what's going to come out between now and draft day.
I just want to really reiterate, we did not to do this on purpose. I'm actually quite annoyed because I wanted to... I like the brain exercise of exploring what realistic options are we going to be looking at on draft day. To me, this isn't realistic, but I will say this: if he's there, it's done.
Oh yeah, pretty easy pick. Sorry, usually we take long takes on Detroit. This is an easy one here because Monroe Freeling would be a slam dunk. All right, the Vikings might be a little bit longer take, only because they don't have the safety that you want to give them.
Correct. But here's the thing. We know in real life, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren will probably go in the first round. Safety is a big need. I also think corner is a big need. So you could be talking about your Avion Terrell, right? You know, maybe even a Colton Hood or Brandon Cisse. Those are all realistic options. D-line's also an option. I still don't think Caleb Banks is going to go in the first round. Definitely not this high, especially now that he's got the broken foot and he's not even going to be ready to start the season.
It's an interesting take.
I wouldn't rule out Cade McDonald here because I do think this is D lineman or DB
or tight end.
That is it. That's it.
Sadiq is giving me the conversation for just about every team that comes up.
Potentially, but until until Hawk becomes a cap casualty, unless I missed that, did he get cut?
No, he's not yet.
Right. So no, this is Cade McDonald or a DB. What way do you think's more likely, and then I'll make the pick.
The only reason why I would say McDonald over DB is they did grab James Pierre, thinking that maybe they short up one of their two corner spots. It depends on how they feel about Isaiah Rodgers, which it seems like they liked him last year, and Byron Murphy is their other one. So I could see them going interior D-line.
I was leaning McDonald too, only because I think it is a slightly bigger need, and it's a run-stuffing guy, and you're in a division that can run the ball.
And again, I want to point out, you're taking McDonald over both Woods and Banks. And it's fine. I'm just making sure we have
Woods. I'm torn on Woods.
Because he's been sliding.
I'm not high in any of them. I don't think any D lineman, true D lineman, should go in the first round. I don't think any of them. Grayson Halton's my top one, but I still don't think he should go in the top 32.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the thing. I think the D line's a bigger need, but I'm just asking you, do you think they would go D line over the corners? Because to me, I still just have a hard time thinking any D lineman go in the first round, let alone at 18 in the top 20. So that's why I kind of want to go one of the DBs here.
Sure.
But
and I think DB is still no, I think DB is still a big need for them because again,
I kind of want to go
James
Terrell.
Pierre. I'm fine with that. I think he'd be a good piece for them to add. No doubt.
Not because he's not my next corner, but I just think he's probably the NFL's. Let's go Terrell.
He is the NFL's next corner. Let's go.
Now
Reuben Bain.
We are in Carolina, which also, continue to have the D lineman talk. But
Right.
again, I'm only one pick removed from what I just said. I don't think they're happening. So I'm not going to go that route. I think this is probably an edge rusher. It's probably the Ruben Bain pick, to be honest with you.
Right, because they have Nick Scorton, they have Uman Mielen, they just paid up for Jalen Phillips. But as we've talked about, you can never have too many edge rushers, right?
I do want to take a quick, because we've got so many O-linemen still here. I know they got Icky, but who's the other? Taylor Moton. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, they're fine at tackle. I'm not worried about that. And they grabbed Fortner at center. So if you want to replace a guard, because again, Vega is still sitting here too.
I don't know if they go edge rusher either.
Mm-hmm.
I like their wide receivers. This is a weird team, dude. Maybe I completely, in one pick, do a complete turnaround of talking out of both sides of my mouth. And maybe it is D-line.
Well, do you like
maybe
Bobby
this
Brown?
is, huh?
Do you like Bobby Brown as
not a ton
starter? Right. So this is where you put McDonald and just plug and play him in there.
Yeah, but can McDonald play in a 3-4?
Well, that's the thing. McDonald, I mean, he's listed at 326. So, yeah, I think he can play nose tackle with 326.
What is Woods listed at? Because he's the local guy.
He's 310, I think.
He'd
be more of the edge. You'd take him instead of Treshaun Wharton. I don't think he can hold up as a nose tackle at 310.
Man, this is because
which I realize 15 pounds.
Cassius Howell is really tempting here too.
Sure, because again, they've got the smaller guys, and again,
why does Why does Scorton and Bain feel like the same guy to me? A guy that's just
because Scorton was another guy that didn't produce last year. I mean, he produced more than his teammate that we talked about with Stewart. But
let's say to hell with it. We're gonna go. How heavy was Bain at the combine?
260, I think.
Let me look up Nick Scorton. What's his weight? I don't know if they think that's too big.
Yeah, he's at 254.
Okay.
Well, he's listed at least. Not sure what he plays at technically, but.
What do you think? This is a tough one too,
right? And this is why we were joking before we did the show. Do we do this as something we do ahead of time or live?
End?
I like that we're doing live. At tight end, they've got Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders, who you still believe in.
Sanders isn't. I know, but I don't think they do. This could be Sadiq, dude. This could be a sneaky one. That's the wide receiver because I like the wide receiver room better than most. Everybody else does. Let's go Sadiq.
Okay.
Well, in case I'm wrong about how they feel. In case how I feel is off. You know what I mean? He's still a pass catcher.
Yeah, Canales is not upset about that. So, okay, we'll do Sadiq at 19. That takes us to the Cowboys.
Cowboys. This is a fun one, too. Man, they
Did they take... I'm just going to throw this every time. Did they take Ruben Bain?
They very well could. But they did go get Gary. They got Izaraku. They need a linebacker more than anything. You did go C.J. Allen already, yeah?
Is this your opportunity for you to make a statement that Jacob Rodriguez is going to be in the first round?
Nah, that's probably going to be later at Denver or something like that. If I do that,
have you seen your boy Anthony Hill dropping like a rock?
Yeah, he dropped on mine too quite a bit, but I still think he's a lock for the second round.
Well, again, he's sitting at 90 right now. I think on PFF 95, something like that.
Man, so I don't think that this is either corner or safety is what I'm leaning towards. Which one? Let me look at the roster.
Is this McNeil Warren?
That's what I'm leaning towards, but I wanted to see if it could be a Terrell or a Hood or a Cisse. I want to see who they got. So, yeah. They brought in Durant Kobe. Yeah. Oh, I like Reddy. Yeah. Man, they brought in Thompson, Hooker. They did all that. They kind of put some names in there. None of the names you feel great about, but they kind of addressed every freaking need in free agency.
And again, Trevon Revelle is still in there too. So I would think he'd go safety over corner.
I think so too, but because they did address all of these things, do they just go best player available? I'm starting to think maybe they just go a Ruben Bain here.
Just to get him off the board. If they'll figure out how to use him.
They run the 3-4-2, so that doesn't make sense. But they got Gary. Gary's big.
Gary's not a trim individual. I mean, he's listed at 6'4", 277. So yeah,
let's go Bane. Let's
All
go
right.
Bane. Let's just see what happens.
So the Dallas Cowboys may have stumbled into, and this is the funny thing, it keeps happening every time we do this. Dallas just ends up having a good draft. Every time. Super annoying. Pittsburgh.
I don't think that's good, but all right.
Well, people, the pundits would think so.
Pittsburgh, this feels like the Emmanuel McNeil Warren spot, but I want to entertain the idea of Simpson. Do you think they do that? They still don't even have Rodgers, so
Right.
I feel like Simpson's going to go in the first round. So if not here, when do we do it? Right?
Right.
We're not projecting trades, so
because
this is the
here's the
only
thing.
spot he could go.
Well, or he can go, I mean, he can hypothetically.
Don't say Cleveland.
I was going to say Cleveland. Thanks for stopping me. Yeah, then I understand that. And that's why
I'm
I
putting
think
Simpson here.
You're going to do Simpson? Okay. I was about to say that's why I don't think he's going.
I think it's a
I'm
good
fine
pick.
with that.
I think it's good.
Well,
do.
and again,
they don't.
McCarthy.
I know that they want to see Howard a little bit.
This is why I think that Rodgers is coming back for at least 1 year to play with Mike McCarthy one more time. A little nostalgia tour,
agree.
run it out.
That's why it could be even better for Simpson.
Exactly. So yeah, Ty Simpson's the pick.
Yep.
Oh, thank goodness, because Jim Harbaugh just knocked Mike McCarthy out of the way to go take Vega. Exactly.
Yeah.
No offense, Chargers fans. This is a quick take, but Vega is perfect for them. This board absolutely lined up spectacularly for them. So let's move on to the Eagles, right? And this is where they would have taken Kenyon Sadiq had you not had him go a few picks ago. But because of what they do and where they're at, it really is a debate of edge rusher because they need to replace Phillips, who just left, or maybe they look at something in the secondary would be the other piece with Blankenship gone. But the real question is, because they're a 3-4, what do they do? Do they take Mesidor is too big for what they do. Keldrick Falk is too big for what they do. So this would be where Cassius Howell would go, I would think.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
He's the right size guy for what they do. It gives them another body. This way they're not worried about Nolan Smith working out, basically. So, again, we're doing some quicker picks now because it kind of makes sense. Cleveland, because they got their boy at the beginning of this round and they managed to get a tackle, right, with Mauanoa, this is where the wide receiver conversation comes back in for the Browns. You could make a case that they could use somebody maybe in the secondary as well, just because I always think they could use some help there, like most teams can. But the real debate, this is between you, this is you and me talking about the rest of the world. Omar Cooper Jr. has been rocketing up boards into where a lot of people think he's a first-round pick. And I'm not saying he's
early on in the season where I was like, dude, because you love Surratt, and I was like, dude, I don't know if he's the best wide receiver on his team.
Well, and again, a lot of people now,
and I still don't know that. I still don't know who I like better between the two. But again, I think there's a conversation there. I think I lean Cooper. I always think I kind of did.
Sure. Well, the real question for Cleveland is which one fits them better. They've got a 6'1" Jerry Jeudy, right? They've got a 6'3" Cedric Tillman.
Neither one fits them.
No, as far as, are you talking about the wide receivers? Or neither of those guys?
I still think Boston goes above them. I just do.
Well, right, but does Omar Cooper Jr., who's 6 foot tall, do they put him in because they have Cedric Tillman and they believe that he's their tall guy?
Tillman cannot stay healthy. Don't even factor him into the equation.
All right, so you're believing Denzel Boston would be the pick here for Cleveland?
I think so, just because I want him to go to Buffalo too much.
Well, no, Boston is the guy that I would take.
If you do believe in Tillman potentially staying healthy in that, then I guess in real life, because Concepcion's probably going in the first round somewhere, this could be a pick where he goes too.
Right, but they've also got Isaiah Bond as their kind of little dude as well.
Which is why Boston should be this pick. Just saying.
So we're going to go with Boston for this pick, and that puts us to the Bears. Chicago Bears, you know what? They're in a weird spot right now where everyone has.
Do they take McNeil Warren? They're going to take McNeil Warren.
Well, look, there's a couple different possibilities for them.
Didn't they lose one of their safeties?
Yeah, but they also got
lose Brisker.
They lost Brisker, but they got Kobe Bryant, and they've got Cam Lewis. So they just paid for 2 safeties. So that makes me think they might not be taking safety.
That's fair.
But again, this is where it gets fun, right? So the reason why I'm talking about this is they still don't have a second edge rusher. We liked Austin Booker as a later round guy, right? Odingbayo was an overpay, in my opinion. Akeem Mesidor and Keldrick Falk are sitting here. You and I both have an embargo on Keldrick Faulk going in the first round.
I don't think he goes in the first round. Mesidor, people say he's a lock. I don't know how he does at that age. I mean, I still think by the time the draft rolls around, Zion Young goes in the first round.
So, right. But that's where the conversation
that would be the pick
begins.
that would really piss me off right here. But I don't think they would take him. I think they'd be more likely to take a Mesidor or even a Gabe Akis, a somewhat local guy.
I just want you to know that I desperately want to give Zion Young to them to mess with you.
I bet you do, Panama
and
Red.
I'm looking forward to putting the camera on your face when that pick comes around on draft day. But with where things are at, with where people are valuing people, it's going to be Akeem Mesidor because the Bears believe they're ready to win now. And even though Mesidor's older,
and dude, the Bears are the second best team in this division. I think their roster is better than the Packers.
There you go. All right. So Mesidor is the pick, which takes us to Buffalo, who's like, cool, I'll have Omar Cooper Jr., thanks.
Basically.
I mean, yeah, because now you got Moore, you've got him, and you've got whatever's left, I suppose, of Coleman. Again, we hope that Keon Coleman's been done dirty his whole career, man, and it's tough stuff, but it is what it is. Omar Cooper Jr. is the pick for them.
But do they go like a Caden Proctor potentially though, and have him go inside the guard and have a massive guard?
I mean, yes, a massive
push for Josh Allen.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea, but I think that it makes too much sense for them to take Omar Cooper Jr. here because wide receiver.
I get it.
San Francisco.
San Fran, dude. I feel like this has to be Zion Young is the close second, but it has to be an O-lineman, right? I mean, they're even talking about trying to trade Trent Williams. I don't know how you trade a 38-year-old tackle, but if there were a 38-year-old tackle that somebody's like, yeah, I'll trade for him.
Trent Williams would be the guy.
It's probably Trent Williams,
right? Blake Miller's still there,
but I know. But here's the thing. I don't think McKivitz moves off from right tackle. So if you drafted a tackle, then he's basically going to be the guy who takes over for Trent Williams. And if they don't trade Trent, San Fran thinks they're in contention, right?
Right, they do. Even though they got the toughest division football right now.
Could go, man. They got a plan. They got a plan. It's got to be a tackle. So what would Shanahan do? I think this is probably
they've got edge and safety as needs as well.
I think it's probably Blake Miller because the NFL loves Blake Miller, dude.
They do
because he's got so many starts. I'm going Blake. It's done.
Okay, Blake Miller's the pick. Which takes us
we basically got to pick the rest of the draft's offensive tackles if we're getting to 7.
Just about right. So, but here's the interesting thing, though. You say that. And obviously, the look right now for the Texans is offensive line, as we've said forever and a day. But because they brought Braden Smith in, this is probably where Caden Proctor goes.
It could be, yeah.
When you think about who's still available and what they've got left, they probably feel good about
at the same time, I'm starting to think that Ian Archer goes above Proctor on draft day.
And in a lot of cases, I would say that you're right, but because the interior is a bigger focus, and we know that we believe Proctor can do that, you'd have to kick Braden Smith inside, or you have to kick around.
No, because Proctor can't play. Is Smith playing right tackle for them, or
Smith is playing right tackle? Left. Yeah. No, Smith is playing right. Ursery's playing left. That's their plan right now, according to our lads.
That's fair.
I haven't talked to anybody in Houston's organization, but I would think that they're not going to feel like. And that's the other thing. Right now, Jake Andrews is their center. There's a world where Jarrett Patterson moves over to center. Jake Andrews is the odd man out, and you put Caden Proctor in there. But I feel like Proctor makes too much sense for them as a team that needs offensive line.
It's done.
Kansas City, who again has that second pick because they made the trade that they did with McDuffie. They got Delane in there already. Dude, is this where Concepcion goes? Or do they focus on the D-line?
Did they do anything to address tackle after? Did they do anything to address tackle?
Of course not. They still have Jalen Moore starting there.
Right. Do you feel good about that?
Of course not. So I guess we go Max? That's what I would do.
That's what I'm thinking. I think, dude, they got to do it, right? They got to.
Well, I would do that, which is annoying because, again, I don't want Kansas City to be a resurgent team. But, yeah, let's do that. Ooh, I almost clicked on KC Concepcion. That would have been funny. All right, Max, is the pick for Kansas City. Let's go to Denver.
Denver. So we already know Rodrigo 2.0 is a potential here.
Mm-hmm.
I also have said quite a bit that I do think that D-line is the second biggest need.
There's options here.
This is 100% Woods or Rodrigo.
Cade McDonald's still there too.
Cade McDonald,
Banks is still there. I know, I'm just having fun.
Do you think Rodrigo goes in the first round, though? He probably doesn't,
I don't.
Does he?
He feels like a second-round guy all day.
We got to go D-line then. So this is McDonald or Woods?
Yeah. Well, I'm
going to go McDonald.
Yeah, they're slated as a 3-4, so it makes more sense to have McDonald go there.
Yeah, McDonald. Damn.
Patriots, are you going to make your favorite pick for the Patriots?
I don't know what my favorite pick is. Is it Lomu?
Oh, I was going to say Zion Young, but yeah. Lomu would be the other pick.
It could be. Let me go.
I feel like those are your two favorites with who's available.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of those two. Let's just be honest. And not because that's what I want, just because it's also very likely. They still have wide receivers. I get it because they still don't have a number one.
Yeah, well, there's no number one left, unfortunately.
Right. Oh, man, I really got to go edge rusher here, don't I?
Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
I have to. Zion Young is going to go in the first round. I'm convinced of it. I'm putting him here. I like it.
Okay. Zion Young's a pick, which takes us to the last one. And this is a two-horse race for me, right? When you look at where the needs are, running back would hypothetically be a need. There's no running back going in the first round besides Love. Let's just call it what it is. There's debate, I think, with this team. They did not do a ton in free agency because they didn't have a ton of holes, right? There's a world where they need a wide receiver that can slide into Cooper Kupp's spot in the future. Somehow they believe Rashid Shaheed is the guy, which makes me a little nervous. I think they gave him way too much money. He's a great return guy. I don't think he's as great of a wide receiver. So there's a world where Casey Concepcion could be the pick. But Ty Akata is one of their two safeties right now.
Yep.
There's a free safety
for sure.
Yeah, there's a free safety who, again, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I've talked about not really liking his tackling. But if he's a free safety,
that's the pick.
Peanut punching and stuff. Easy one. So it took us like a half an hour to do the back half of this draft, which just kind of feels like it makes sense because the front half we spent so much time trying to figure out what in the world is happening. And there you go. That is our first round mock. That is completely inaccurate because somehow Monroe Freeling ended up at Detroit at 17.
Absolutely blasphemous.
Thoughts on this? What did we get wrong besides that?
Get wrong or actually,
Caleb,
I was going to ask
or other thoughts.
I was thinking like going back, like the Jets should take Sonny Styles, but as far as getting something wrong, but I didn't. That's just what I learned throughout that'd be the number one thing to change.
Right.
As far as getting wrong goes, there's a high potential that Ty Simpson doesn't go. Like I forced him. I would say that's the next most likely one. I forced him there because I do think he goes in the first round, and we're not projecting trades. So if he wasn't going there, we didn't have a home for him, and it just would have then we just would have been having the conversation of what's dumber, Freeling at 17 or Ty Simpson not going in the first round.
Sure. So, and again, I do feel like Simpson is tracking right now to be the guy that a team trades back into the end of the first round for. Like, if you want to put that in quotation marks, because again, you get that extra year of control over a quarterback. You're going to do that. If you're going to take him in the second, jump up and take him in the first. Kind of makes sense there.
Is that the Jets? Who's most likely to come back and get him?
Well, they got to remember the Jets have already got 2 picks in the first round, so I feel like it's almost more likely.
Yeah, but they got
the
2
Jets.
picks next year too, so they could use both picks here and then move one of the ones next year to get back and get Ty and walk out with 3 first-round picks and
which they've done before. Which they've done before. The other thing too could be, depending on how they're feeling about things, maybe they trade back and grab him. But then you're putting a 3rd pick in next year, and all of a sudden you got Ty Simpson, and you're able to be the number 1 pick next year too. Who knows? It's fun to try to project into the future. There's no doubt about it.
I would also say McCoy could be wrong too because there's so much that could go south with that,
and there's so much.
And it
that
also
could
feels
solidify.
dumb that Downs made it to 10 in a way.
Well, this is not the last. Right. This is not our last mock draft.
Here's how Downs doesn't get to 10 if Jeremiah Love goes before 7, because I think Washington could take Downs. I think that's probably their top 2 players.
Yeah, and then I think that even though they spent a ton of money, they could probably still use another edge rusher. That's just me. So yeah, this is where it gets fun.
Agreed.
Is trying to figure all this stuff out. Again, not our last mock draft. We'll have plenty of we'll have at least one or two more, at least in the next 6 weeks before we get to all of the rest of this stuff. But next week, sir, you and I are getting into the proper rankings now of all of these players. We've had the combine come through. You've been watching tape. I need to catch up on some tape, but we're gonna have all that stuff set up as we go through all of the big position groups, starting off next week with Draft Craft.